Okay, cool. Have your block handy nearby. You can tell I have like all my props here because I've been doing like restorative yoga style lately. Nice and gentle, especially on these like early dark evenings. So once you're in hands and knees, go ahead and start to make cat cow like movements in the spine. So right away, start to find that extension, which would be like a back bend here, dropping the belly, lifting the tailbone, maybe even looking forward, feeling like the chin and the sternum is drawing up forward. And then on your exhale, start to round, finding flexion in your spine. So thinking about that space in between your shoulder blades, rising to the top, dropping the weight of your head a bit. And then matching movement with breath. So inhales find you into cow pose. Exhales lead you into cat. Take a few rounds like that. So starting to tap into your breath a little bit more and then also into your spine. So nice. And then start to walk your hands up your thighs. You'll rise up onto your knees. Reach your arms out and up. Take a big breath in. And then interlace your fingers above your head. Flip your palms up. Press up. Look up, even a little bit of a back bend. And then release your hands down. Start to bring them one hand on top of the other, palm over palm here on your low back. Open the palms nice and wide, spread the fingers wide, and then think about the elbows drawing back a bit, squeezing the shoulder blades together. The heads of the shoulders naturally start to draw back. The collarbones expand. You might even start to, again, lift your chin, lift your face. Just different ways to open up the front of the body, especially when we've been like curled inward, most likely. And then release. Bring your hands down to the ground, firmly plant them with your fingers nice and wide. This time, tuck your toes under. Maybe take a moment to hover the knees, create a little bit of heat in the belly. Stay there for a breath or two if you want. Or press your hips up and back, downward facing dog. And of course, it's your first one. I'm going to take a wider stance with the feet. And if you'd like to do that as well, you can. You might even press one heel down at a time, bending the opposite knee to stretch the back of the legs. Feel that stretch of the calf muscles. Paddling out the feet. Maybe shaking the head yes and no, taking a moment, letting gravity kind of do a little bit of work in this inversion. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. But bend your knees a lot just to land in a forward fold and feel your spine round forward. Maybe sway the arms side to side, ragdoll pose. And then you can slowly, whether you keep swaying or you just want to slowly roll all the way up, you'll come to standing. Take a moment at the top. You might even heel toe your feet a little bit closer together, so they're right underneath your hips. And then for a moment, flip your palms forward. Shrug the shoulders up towards your ears. Draw them back. And then let them fall. Do that one more time. Draw them up, back, and down. Like you did before, reach your arms out and up overhead. Big breath in. Interlace your fingers and press your palms up towards the sky. We're going to do this a few different ways, right? Then you'll start to look up. See if you can, at the same time, press down through your feet and engage your glutes just a little bit more to protect your low back And then think about lifting up, looking up beyond your fingertips, beyond your pinky finger. And then you'll look forward. Bring your arms down along your sides. Ah. And just place one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. Maybe even close your eyes. You're just going to take a moment of stillness here. Take a full breath in. Maybe even open up your mouth, letting out a sigh. Do that one more time. Breathe in. Open your mouth. Sigh it out. And then on your next inhale, reach your hands up overhead. We'll move a little bit more. Reach up, look up. Exhale, softly bend the knees and fold forward. Take an inhale, hands to your knees or your shins, like a flat back here. Maybe even look forward. And then walk your hands forward back to that downward facing dog. Take a breath in to right away rise up to your toes. Exhale to drop your knees, tabletop pose. Inhale to lift the chest, dropping the belly, find cow. And then exhale, round into cat. And then you'll pull forward, stay on your knees, but you'll come into this plank pose. And then you'll lower all the way onto your belly. And then once you're there, take your hands a little bit wide. So you're on your belly, your hands go wide. Tent your hands here. And then start to lift your chest up, finding that wide cobra pose. You're still on your belly. I'm just modifying here. And then exhale, release. Press your hands underneath your shoulders again. And then come back to tabletop. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. A little bit more of a flow here. Take a breath in and out. Start to walk your hands back towards your feet. You can separate your feet a little bit wider if you'd like. Inhale, halfway lift again, hands to your shin. Exhale to fold. Inhale, stand all the way up, reach up overhead. And as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. We're going to do that one more time, one breath per movement. Inhale, reach back up, grow a little taller. Exhale, fold forward. Softly bend in the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk your hands forward, downward facing dog. Inhale, rise up to your toe. Exhale, drop your knees down, tabletop. Inhale into cow pose. Exhale, round to cat pose. Inhale, come to neutral, engage the belly, pull forward to plank on your knee. Lower all the way down to your belly. Take the hands a little wider, tent them, lift the chest, wide cobra, you're on your belly. And then exhale, release. Hands come under your shoulders, press back, hands and knees, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. Now take the feet a little bit wider apart, walk your hands back towards them, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. This time, just walk your hands up your thighs to rise. Arms down along your sides again, palms forward. Breathe in. Maybe open up your mouth. You might notice you built a little bit of heat. And take your hands together right in front of your heart. You can start to shift your weight into the left foot and pick your right foot up, tree pose. So you can either bring your foot to your ankle, maybe to your calf. That's where I like to bring it to. Or maybe above the knee to your inner thigh. Hands can stay at your heart, or they can reach up overhead. And just here for 3. Keep pressing down through the 4 corners of that left foot. 2. Last 1. And then release, reset, take a moment on 2 feet, breath in, maybe shrug the shoulders, breath out, let it go. Hands come to your heart again, and you'll shift into the right foot. See if you can spread the toes a little wider, and then you'll come into tree. And right away, I noticed that my two sides are not always equal. And so you might feel sturdier on one side or the other. Just take note of it, no judgment. Last few breaths. And then release. If you want to, shake it all out. Shoulders, arms, maybe take a little bit of a sway or swing side to side. And feel really nice. And release. Back to that mountain pose, flipping your palms forward. Take one breath in. Full breath out. Now heel to your feet just a little bit closer. You're going to create a little more heat in the legs. Bend your knees and reach your arms either up, or you can bring your hands to your heart center, whatever feels more grounding, more supportive as you sit in chair pose. I want you to think about your sternum lifting rather than right away rounding. Okay. Can your chest be open a little bit more? Maybe you think about sitting down like you're sitting in a chair. Take one more full inhale. And then think belly towards your thighs first. Then fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk your hands back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in to rise up to your toe. Breath out to drop your knees down. Round of cat-cow, inhale. And then exhale. Come back to neutral. You'll walk your hands up your thighs like you did before. Rise up onto your knees. But just step your right foot forward into a lunge. Nice, easy lunge here. So you can start to feel the front of that left hip get a little bit longer. Now, if you want, grab your block, place it towards the inside of where your right foot is. And I like it on the highest setting. You might find medium setting is better for you, but just have it close by, ready to roll. You reach both arms up overhead. And then right hand will grab the left wrist, lean over to the right. Start to create a little bit more space in that left side. You'll rise back up. Start to reach your left hand forward and your right hand can come behind you. So just this open arm twist. Here, you can stay. Or if you'd like, start to drop your left hand to that block and maybe reach your right hand up overhead. You might even drop that block down a bit. Maybe you drop it all the way down to the lowest setting. Just play with it. So you're in a space where that twist feels really good. And you can reach your right fingertips up. And maybe you reach the right hand forward. I've been doing this a lot just to floss the right shoulder a bit. And then maybe start to like trace almost like the shape of a rainbow, reaching forward, reaching back. Again, reaching forward, reaching up, and then reaching behind you. Really nice. Reach forward. Let that right hand plant down inside of your right foot. Keep your left hand where it is. Take one more inhale. Start to reach or start to sink your hips slightly forward a bit. And then as you exhale, pull the hips back a bit more. Maybe pick the right toes up. Create a stretch in the back of the right leg, the right hamstring. Now you'll rock back forward a bit more. See if you can pick that right foot up, maybe wiggle it over to the right. You're going to swing it back around. Now, listen for this little change. You're going to cross your right knee behind your left and take your feet a little wider apart. So it's like you're sitting in a chair cross-legged, right? But your feet go wide, and then you can walk your hands back a bit as you send your hips back. Now, they won't touch the ground. That's not the goal. It's just this idea to access a little bit of a hip stretch, an outer hip stretch. If you want to bring that block with you, keep your hands on it. You certainly can. If you want to like bow the chest down and that deepens that sensation in the hips, by all means, go for it. And then you'll rock back forward. You'll send that right leg behind you. So three-legged tabletop. Roll out the ankle. Fan out the toes. Drop the right knee next to the left. Tabletop pose. Reset. Take a breath in. Find cow. A breath out. Find cat. Now you'll take that block, place it over to the right. So you're just going to switch sides. We're going to do that all on the other side. Walk your hands up your thigh. Step your left foot forward into a lunge. Reach both arms overhead. Left hand grabs your right wrist, tip over to the left. And then you'll come back up. Right hand goes forward, left hand goes back. You find that twist. Now it's right hand to that block. Any height that makes sense for you. You can even take that left foot just a little bit wider to create space in the hips, and then you can reach the left hand up. Maybe you find that little tracing of the horizon like a rainbow, reaching the left fingertips forward and back. And you reach the left hand forward. Let it just land inside the foot for a moment. Let the hips sink forward a little bit more, just creating a little bit more of a stretch in the pelvic area. And then you'll pull your hips back to pick the left toes up, get a stretch in the hamstring. So nice. And then you'll rock back forward, maybe wiggle walk that left foot out to the left a little more, and then swing that leg around behind you. You can move that block. And you can bend your left knee, let it hook behind your right knee, and your feet will come apart. And then you can walk your hands back towards your knees and let your seat draw back a bit more. So this doesn't have to be like super deep of a stretch, but might right away just staying right here could be enough. You might fold forward. Stay here, breath in and a breath out. Full inhale. Soften the jaw, soften the shoulders as you exhale. And then you'll crawl the hands back forward. Weight onto that right knee so you can swing the left leg behind you. Three-legged tabletop. Roll the ankle, fan out the toes. Tabletop pose. Both knees planted. Inhale to find cow. Last time to find cat. Now take your knees a little bit wider apart. Maybe bring your big toes towards one another. Find child's pose. So you can either drop onto your forearms. I like to even use my block underneath my forehead. So it can be so nice if you feel like you still have residual tension in your forehead after like a headache, so to speak. And once you find your head just resting on that block, it can be really nice. You can keep your neck in line with the rest of your spine and then just rock your head side to side. You can even move it all around. You might like notice there's little spots that feel sore or holding tension along your brow bone. And just a nice little like massage here. I could actually do this for hours. Probably not the best idea, but for some reason, there's so much tension along the brow line for me in particular. And I don't even notice it until I have the weight of my head. And just rocking side to side. You might stay at a spot that feels a little sticky and take a breath or two to soften it. If stillness feels better for you, land in stillness, but just come back to your breath. A huge inhale, big exhale. And when you're ready, you can come out of that, but swing your legs around in front of you. And just come to an easy seat for a moment. You can sit up nice and tall, just taking a moment of breath work here. Soften the shoulders, close the eyes. You can either place your hands on your knees, or if you'd like to physically connect with your breath, one hand on your belly, one hand might come to your heart. And take a breath in, feel your belly, your chest expand. And then a full exhale out, a softening, a releasing. We'll do just a few rounds. Inhaling to the count of 3, 2, 1. Slightly hold at the top. And then exhale, 3, 2, 1. Slightly hold empty. And then again, breathe in. 3, 2, 1. Hold. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Last round. Breathe in slow. 3, 2, 1. Exhale it out. 3, 2, 1. Release your hands down if they were on your torso. And then just a full natural breath in. You might even open your mouth to let it release as you exhale. And if you'd like to take the remainder of your time on your mat in a seat, if this feels really good, stay here, of course. If you'd like to make your way onto your back, can. If you'd like to take that block underneath your head for a little pillow, you certainly can, if that makes sense for you. Your knees can either stay bent or you can let the legs go long. Any final shapes that you need, if it's like a little twist, if it's legs up towards the sky, one last little shake to get everything out, take that. Maybe even a rocking motion side to side. Sometimes that can feel really nice in the low back and the pelvis, and the hips. And just make your way to a place that feels comfortable, supported, and close the eyes. See if you can soften the toes, soften the fingers, soften in the face, in the jaw, even softening the tongue. Notice if it's pressing on the roof of your mouth. And just give yourself the gift of stillness. Gift of rest, intentional rest. You might even take one more breath in right here. And find a lot of ease, relaxing on your exhale. If your mind begins to wander in a moment of stillness where there isn't really any instruction, maybe bring it back to just the rhythm of your breath. Bring your mind to that awareness of the expansion on your inhale and the softening on your exhale. And again, take a breath in. Maybe even let the lips part. Slow exhale out. And start to find a little bit of movement in the fingers and the toes. Maybe even a rock of the head side to side. You can bend your knees, roll to the side of your choice. And just really gently, slowly make your way up to a seat. No rush to get there. And once you're there, sitting up nice and tall, maybe bringing your hands together in front of your heart. Feel your sternum lift towards your thumbs. Maybe even bow your chin gently towards that space a bit. Taking this moment just to honor yourself for creating that time in your day to create space in your body, space in your breath, maybe even space in your mind. And right here, maybe you choose an intention or a word or something that you'd like to fill that space back up with. So maybe you just pick one word. Maybe it's breath, maybe it's patience, maybe it's courage, hope, maybe it's ease. Take one last breath in right here and out. Maybe lift your thumbs towards your forehead, lift your chin, lift your face. Namaste.